If you guys want to check out our first podcast, I'll have it linked below where you kind of get to know us a little bit better. If you did miss that or you forgot, this is Slim, this is Matt. We go into how we met and everything on our first podcast. I'll have that linked below. Also, people tuning in on Spotify, welcome. And today we're going to do a tackle tip.
Yeah.
Tips.
Tackle tips.
Tips.
Tackle tips.
Leave me tips.
Tips.
So, just so everyone knows, we're in Missouri, near St. Louis. We're kind of about an hour west of St. Louis. Yeah. And we fish the Ozarks quite a bit.
Lake of the Ozarks is the home lake.
Yep. So, as far as tackle tips going, we're talking about what's working in our region. Mm-hmm. So, water temperature's cold. Matt just got back from the lake yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday.
Last night.
Yeah, last night late. Yep.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Tips for what's working on.
So right now the water is about 40. You know, it's going down. It's getting to be 38-ish too, I saw. So
and also if you're watching this like 3 months from now, what's today? January what?
January 19th.
Yeah.
19th.
Right.
January 19th,
Yeah.
2021.
Average is like 30 degrees. You know, we range from 20 to 40 degrees right now.
So if you're watching this in July,
still
watch it. It's gonna be good.
It'll be the same for next winter. You know.
Yeah.
Same.
So.
Yeah. But I just want to clarify that.
Basically, what we're doing, the fish are all pretty much out to their winter hangouts. You know, they're out on points and kind of getting deep.
You think they have studios? Is their winter hangout?
Oh heck yeah, that's what like we do.
How do you find?
What's funny is you catch one on a jerk bait, and then if you catch one, tip for you: if you catch one in the wintertime, stay there and fish that because you'll catch 3 more.
So they do kind of
group up. Yeah,
they do group. Okay,
that's a big thing in the winter.
Yeah, wintertime fishing's a different ball game. We're talking bass.
Yeah,
we strictly fish largemouth bass.
Yep, and we do some smallmouth, but the Lake of the Ozarks doesn't have, smallmouth. Well, it does, but not a really good population. So we do mostly largemouth. But, right now they're doing the winter bite. So you got your jig, you got your jerk bait. You can do a shaky head or even a Ned rig, that kind of stuff.
So when you start the day, what's the first thing you do? So it's cold outside. It's early morning, cold.
Wear gloves.
Dress warm.
This could be a real quick story. I know we're not gonna go crazy. It's supposed to be tackle tips.
Tackle tips.
Was it 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago, Matt was like, "Hey man, I'm down at the lake," and I was like, "Sweet, I got Thursday off or whatever it was." I tell my wife, I was like, "It's dark at 5 o'clock. We're off the water at 6. I'll be home by 8:39 at the latest."
It was tight, yeah.
So, it's like 5 o'clock. Mm-hmm. We're trying to hit one last little point. What was it, like a secondary point?
One little point that Slim thought looked good, so we ran a little further down the lake.
No, it's always my
little further down the lake, away from the
home's here, we're going this way. So, it's fine. We got our full body, long, I would think the high was 33 that day.
It was cold.
It was miserable.
Windy, too.
So, biggest catch of the day, though, was
the lawn chair.
A lawn chair.
He caught a lawn chair.
It was amazing.
It was pretty good.
Here, tackle tip. Yeah. So we were chasing stuff. We were going for whites or whatever we could get, stripers, hybrids, anything at the Ozarks. So we were running umbrella rigs.
Yeah, A-rig, yep.
So
umbrella rig, yep.
A-rig, umbrella rig, whatever you want to call it. And, we were going low and kind of slow, trying to,
That's another huge winter deal. The A-rig.
So there's my tackle tip.
Yeah.
The A-rig. I caught, I think I caught a striper.
You did catch one, yeah. We caught some largemouth on it, too, like a couple of 3. But
yeah, we're going low, we're going slow. We're in the back of this really nice cove, and man, thought I had Mufasa. It was amazing. And then I was like, nope, this is probably a dead body. And we finally get it in, and it was a massive lawn chair that, 10 years, 20 years? This thing
did you keep it?
No, could have been a good bed.
I didn't even see. You said there was like a pouch. We should have checked what was in the pouch.
There was a pouch.
I didn't see the pouch.
It was. Let me find. Keep talking about it. We'll find it here.
Yeah. But then what happened? Because we're kind of talking about being cold.
Oh yeah. And this tackle tip Thursday too. So.
Basically,
we'll get back to
the engine wouldn't turn, wouldn't start.
Because Slim wanted to go further away from
so it's like probably one of the darkest coves down there in that area. Usually there's houses lit up. This was like a dark cove, and the trolling motor battery had like hardly any life. So I barely made it. It was windy too. Barely made it to a random dock
because it wouldn't crank over. Cranking battery.
Yeah, so we didn't have enough juice to jump.
And then the trolling motor battery died.
So they have this thing called boat. They come. They tow you. If you
it's like AAA of the Lake of the Ozarks.
And so pretty sure we woke the guy up because this guy, it's a Tuesday or whatever it was.
It was Tuesday. It was Tuesday. Yeah, it was Tuesday. The guy was like, man, I was at home making tacos.
In the middle of January, and it's dark, and I'm sure he was making tacos. And so anyway, they got us, and
everything was dead.
How long were you out on the water?
How long were we out there?
So we were on the water from 6:30 till about 8 o'clock.
Yeah. So we're
needless to say, I got home around midnight. My wife wasn't really.
We were. Yeah. She's like, he's on a schedule. He's got to get home, and she's, she didn't want him to go in the first place. So
here,
we're down there.
Biggest tip: always make sure you're wearing more than you need.
Yes.
And then keep something to keep a phone charged.
That's what saved us, man.
It was about 33 degrees. The wind chill all day was probably 20, if not 15, especially, obviously, when the sun went down. We were out there for 3 more hours.
Dude, if you would have kept the lawn chair, you could have been chilling the whole time.
Here, I found it. I'll try to show
I can put it up on the screen, too.
Okay. But that was it. It was pretty cool. There's my A-rig. Yeah, I cut one off. We were trying to use just the 3 hooks.
Yeah, that's the thing in Missouri. You gotta have. That's the rule. 3 hooks.
Look at that chair. So you can see why at first you're like, "This is awesome," but there's the full body. I mean, it was cold, baby.
Then back to the initial question. So it's cold.
Yeah.
First, get on the water. You already talked about jigs. Jerk baits. What's the first thing you throw, or what is it you're looking for? You're looking for water being murky and cloudy or windy, or
right now, a lot of times the water's clear. If you have a little wind, that's good. And I want to start, if I can get them, with a little bit of a faster bait.
Yeah,
a jerk bait or something. If I'm going to where I know these schools they're schooled up, so I'm looking on my graph for a shad, and I'm looking for balls of fish, because once you find one, you can find a few.
Right.
So you just kind of cover water, basically. And it's hard to do that in the winter because you can't fish too fast. You got to fish slow. So, but the thing is, if you do find a spot, they're there. Mm-hmm. So kind of jump around if you got spots, or, fish. Look at secondary points. That's a big thing. Secondary points, little cuts, whatever. Start, during the winter, what they do is they'll come in for like a feeding hour. They'll come in for a little while shallow and feed, and then go back out. And if you hit it right, man, you can catch some giants,
Yeah.
And so that's why you kind of jump spots, because at any point it could be that hour on that spot.
That makes sense.
The big thing with that is, and it, moving around a lot, but it's also hard to. It's like fishing fast, slowly. It's kind of hard to do,
Yeah.
Cover water, cover spots, and I like to throw in the middle of winter, and a little bit later winter, like a rock crawler, like a crankbait, and I cover water that way. I don't burn it, I'm kind of basically pulling
deep diver, or what do you think it dives?
It's like a wiggle word. It's like it's probably, it says the 55. It runs, I think, 9 to 14 feet. Okay. But a lot of times you're not getting that out of it, and if you can, that's good. But a lot of times you find them feeding up there in those rocks.
Right.
But they'll do that for a little bit and pull back out. So
now does color, and this will all the bait painters out there are gonna love this.
Yeah.
Color of like when you're throwing a bait like that, or is it?
And that little changes. Like our Lake of the Ozarks is real clear right now.
Yeah.
So even the translucent colors, the red translucent stuff. Red is always good, especially as you get closer to spring. They like
that's kind of how I practice with my stuff too. So like clear water, you want something that's kind of realistic or natural looking.
For sure.
And so that's kind of what you're throwing now, like shad patterns, or you're going with the red.
Well,
because I know that the warmer or as spring gets here, you want to really throw red.
Yeah, the red gets as a spring, and right now I still throw the reddish rock crawler when I'm doing the crankbait. But if I'm going, anything else is going to be shad, even like a lipless crankbait. You can kind of yo-yo that off the bottom. That's another great winter thing, because they're keying on like little shad,
Okay.
So winter is kind of weird. Like I said, the A-rig's huge. Huge at the lake too, and like I said, Slim said there's, a hook rule. You can only have 3 hooks. You got to check your lake and what the rules are.
Yeah, the state. Yeah, we had the 5. The umbrella's the 5, so we would take. I think it was the top 2. We'd make those dummies. Mm-hmm. We'd have just whatever little swim bait, whatever you're using. We would just hook it through there, and hopefully it stayed on. Obviously, then we'd have the bottom 3 in the middle, or however you bend it and set it up.
Yeah.
Do you know why that's a thing?
Why?
That's just our rule.
Oh, the hook rule?
Yeah.
I don't really know.
It's a state of Missouri rule.
It's just a state Missouri rule. But some states you can have, I think, all, and some I think.
So it's just too deadly.
So yeah, well, a lot of
Just
tournaments,
killing them all.
a lot of tournaments ban the A rigs.
Yeah. There's some guys at work were talking about that the other day.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that was like a state law or like a department.
Yep.
Conservation deal. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get a ticket, get in trouble for it. I
Well.
mean, yeah, there's rules.
Yeah.
You know,
I've always done it right.
Yeah.
Speaking of jerkbaits, though, why don't you
Yeah.
just go ahead and pull one right off the wall right there?
Yep.
We got these
Just
little
to show
deals. Little jerkbait action there.
So this is actually a custom painted one by
Zach.
Baker Builds.
Yep.
So that one would be a good clear water, you think? Yeah.
For sure.
Transparent.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And you get, and I think a good explanation for people that maybe do know the Ozarks or don't know the Ozarks. What we do is nothing like the TV show.
Yeah.
I don't think that's real down there, but anyways, we fish primarily the 1 to the 10-mile marker.
That's where we're at right now.
Yeah,
that's
so
our
a lot of a lot of my
Give-
fishing's in the big and little Niagara,
the other
completely
end.
different
Right.
lake.
It's a huge. Yeah.
Poo
Yeah.
brown. So
Sometimes.
yeah,
Depends on the time of
sometimes.
year, Yeah.
So much clearer up by the dam, bigger, deeper body of waters.
Yeah.
So just
what
to kind of
about-
let them know where we're at.
With the jerkbait, what you want to do, big thing. I caught 2 5s this last weekend, and I've noticed that you can still move the jerkbait fast. You can go pause, pause. You can do it kind of quick if you want to cover water. I did notice though the 5-pounders came when I waited 15 seconds, and I'm
Yeah.
counting 1 Mississippi, 2 like that. That's a long wait.
And that's where getting a good suspending jerk.
Yeah, you gotta have you
Yeah.
gotta have it suspend right. Sit
Yep.
there. When you get it down to your depth, reel a couple cranks down,
Mm-hmm.
and like say you're across a secondary point.
Right.
Get it down to as deep as it'll go, and then do that. But the longer I would sit, seemed like the bigger fish. I noticed that this
Okay.
last weekend. But you can catch them doing a 3 to 5 second pause if you want.
So here's a question.
And
It might be kind of hard to answer, but for people that don't, or maybe you're new to fishing big bodies of water, or you just haven't really like gone into depth on it. When you're saying points, I know what you're talking about because I fish with you.
Yeah.
But so let's say someone just got out on the lake, or they're out there fishing for the first time, something like that.
Yeah.
What is it? What's your description of a point?
Just like
so
when-
that way they can find to see what you're talking
Right.
about. You know what I mean?
Like when the hills around, they kind of, when that comes out, a land point, basically it comes to a tip.
So it's like a literal point.
peninsula,
Yeah.
or whatever. And
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're going down the main channel, you turn into a cove, there's going to be your first point.
there's
So
point, yeah.
basically, the outside of each cove is a point.
Pretty much, yeah.
Would be a good
sometimes they're
definition,
real.
yeah.
Sometimes they're real round points.
Right.
And sometimes of the year that's better than other times.
Okay.
This last weekend it's cold. It's winter. I was looking for the more defined, narrow points. Honestly, for me too, just to be able to pinpoint where the bass are going to be more. Because if you got a big long round point, you obviously you're using your electronics
Right.
and stuff.
Right.
But
Pay attention to the graph.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
big thing. That's could be a whole
You could
other
be fishing
podcast.
literally nothing, just
Yes.
one rock.
That could be a whole
Yep.
a whole podcast
Yeah.
itself. But for me, I'm looking for the steeper banks, the 45-degree angle banks. I love that's where they're at in the winter because they can
Right.
slide up and down that bank real quick.
So that'd be a good thing too if someone's marking spots.
Yeah.
To know how fast it deep.
how fast
quick
yeah.
it drops.
You know what
And
I'm saying?
even
How quick it drops.
you can just
So-
look on your regular maps, but you can tell by the contour lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't have any Navionics or any of that, you can look at straight up regular maps and it'll tell you.
Where
You could be at home sitting on your couch and looking on your phone.
Yeah.
And if you get that
it'll
Navionic,
tell you where it is. So then,
then yeah.
so what right now then? So let's say someone doesn't have graphs or doesn't have
Yeah.
stuff like that. They can
So-
look at the charts, find the points, and they're looking for. You just said however
like
deep.
quicker drops, like a 45-degree bank is what I like
Yeah.
to fish right now this time of year.
And sometimes you can tell by the land. So if you
Oh,
pull
big
up
time.
and it's pure flat,
Yes.
most likely it's
That's
going to be
absolutely.
real flat.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's really what I was doing, was looking
Yeah,
at the
looking
bank,
at the
though,
elevation.
And
Yeah,
here-
if you
here's
get a good
a-
hill coming down,
Yep.
it's most likely a continuation up
I
that
think
hill.
here's the simplest way you can know how deep it is. How big are the docks in that area?
Right.
Is there a yacht parked out there?
Right.
It's got to be
That's-
deep.
yeah,
That's how
very
I do
true.
it.
That's very true.
Yeah, I mean, there's. Well, let's show them the jig.
Yeah.
Yeah, the jig,
Yeah, I
you-
was actually just getting ready to ask. So, jig wise,
Can't go wrong with black and blue, even in the clear water. Black and blue.
This is
You
actually
need a pair
a
of
custom
scissors?
made. This is a Baker. This is called a Baker Builds Black and Blue.
the BBNB, Baker Black and
BB&B.
Blue.
Yep.
Yep.
Hand painted. We tie them.
So
That's a
actually
chatterbait.
label here.
Oh, it's a chatterbait.
Oh,
Yeah.
he grabbed the wrong thing.
No.
We'll show you. We'll kind of show
One
you.
of those.
That's
Oh.
a half-ounce chatterbait.
I swear I know what a jig is.
Yeah, so he grabbed the wrong one. That's all right. I don't know if
No,
you can see the
that's a
whole wall.
finesse.
Oh, well, that's kind of what I want.
Are those
Finesse
all
jig?
chatterbaits?
That's a finesse jig. Finesse jig
Oh,
is what I want.
okay.
Bottoms are finesse jigs.
I guess I don't have the normal.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, actually, what you really do want right now is a finesse jig. More so, I think. You know.
Go ahead and show everybody what he's getting. It is a 1/4 ounce finesse jig, black and blue.
And I'll get some nice close-ups of this so you guys can see it. And so when he's talking about it, I'll put the video up just for you guys. People listening, Spotify-wise.
Yeah.
It's a little finesse jig. What is that one weigh?
1/4 ounce.
1/4 ounce.
Quarter
yep.
ounce.
So,
And it's a finesse one.
yeah, finesse. And that's what,
Weedless.
in the winter time, is what you want to finesse. I mean, I like that a lot better. Put any kind of your favorite little trailer crawl in the back.
Mm-hmm.
There's a million different kinds, whatever you want. But a couple tricks that I do is for the finesse jig, especially, I'll trim the skirt at the hook bend, and that just makes that skirt poof out a little more.
But this is a good tip. Everybody's completely different how they fish them. Some people use a big trailer, small trailer.
Right.
Some people just take it as is from the store or from.
And that depends on what you want to do, what your confidence is. But you definitely want to downsize a little bit, I think, with the finesse in the winter. And another thing is, if you're having problems, hooking up, take a couple strands of that weed guard, clip that off. Don't make it too thin, especially if you're fishing around.
It kind of defeats the purpose
Yes,
if you
if
go
you're
too
fishing
much.
around a lot of brush, don't cut it, too thin. But that's a big deal, and that'll really help your hookups. Or you can also just fan it out. I don't know if you can see that. You can fan it out and kind of lay it like that more. But I always trim a little bit off, just to get that better hookup. But just be careful, because you will be, when you're in that brush, to kind of feather it through there.
There's a reason it's called a brush guard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep, absolutely.
But black and blue, even in a clear lake, black and blue is awesome. Even on a cloudy day, especially too. But you can't beat green pumpkin. Anything green pumpkin too, especially on a clear Table Rock or our Lake of the Ozarks. But black and blue seems to get the pigs for some reason. For me,
Yep.
Right.
I'm always getting the big pigs when it's black and blue. I don't know.
Black and blue? I've never not... Well, I shouldn't say that. I
And
have.
around here, not the lake, but just the lakes we fish around here, they get
Yeah.
real muddy.
Mm-hmm.
Black, and
blue
blue
is perfect.
Yep.
You want to cast a shadow on it. And
Yeah, exactly.
It's wonderful. But yeah, as simple as that, it's a go-to.
Yeah.
A jig is a winter, summer, fall, spring.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care where you are. You can be in a
That's
river.
what those posts on Facebook where it shows you the little beautiful pond. So you
Yeah.
can only throw one thing here. What are you throwing?
Yeah,
Or where it says giant bass lives here. You
Yeah.
only get to pick one bait, like a jig,
for sure.
because
Oh,
you
yeah.
can move them
Oh,
a
absolutely.
lot quicker too.
I mean, you can swim them.
Yeah.
You can swim a jig, and it's a great.
So if you don't have jigs,
Yeah.
recommend some jigs.
Absolutely.
But for right now in the cold water, you're going jig, jerk bait, a rig, and definitely Ned rig, man. The Ned rig, it's kind of looks like a silly bait, but man, it'll catch you some pigs. Shaky head, and then I don't know if you guys drop shot. Drop shotting is another winter deal too. You have options, and where your lake fish is different than ours, but those
you
are
could go out there with a bunch of jigs.
Yeah.
And have a whole day of fishing right there.
Absolutely. Be prepared to lose some.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially if you trim the brush guard too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a lucky crankbait or something like that. I can't even keep a jig long enough to have a lucky jig.
Right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That thing's beat up, torn
Yep.
apart, skirt's gone, or in a tree or
Yeah.
in a bush.
Yep. But
Definitely though, the thing that I was gonna say too, if you're looking for your personal best, get out right now in the cold January, February,
Yep.
March. Get out in the cold, less pressure.
I was gonna say there's
Number
less
one.
people.
Yeah.
Less pressure,
It's
number
huge.
one. And man, if you get on them, I'm telling you, it's the big mamas are eating this time of year, and they're slowly gonna start feeding up for the spring.
Right. But as we learned earlier, dress warm.
Dress one.
Yeah, you can always take it off, but you definitely can't
that's a huge- yeah.
always put it back on. Or you can't
that
put it
right?
on if you don't have it. You can
Yeah.
always take it off,
Yeah.
but if you don't have it, you can't put it on.
Something like that.
I had long underwear, the Arctic.
Yeah.
I don't even know how many pairs of socks I had on.
Yeah. Right.
And a full body Carhartt suit, And at one point I was like, this is kind of warm. I'm a little stiff.
Yeah.
But when we broke down, thank God, because I just laid there.
Oh,
and I was fine.
Same. Yeah. Just.
Were you crying?
Actually, I was calm. The phone about to die was the scary part.
That was a little nerve-wracking.
Like, they wanted our actual coordinates. I gave them our coordinates. Like, that's how they were going to find us. And I was like, we can't call you.
No,
We're stuck. We found one dock, and you're not supposed to do this, but no one would care at this time of need. We plugged in, and we got power.
Yeah.
But we didn't have any USB. It was a one-day trip. We
didn't
pack
have
anything.
it wasn't like a full
USB
day.
ports. No, nothing.
And that's the thing, bass boats, we're fishing in weird times. We're fishing in crazy weather, a lot of time. Bass boats do weird stuff. So, definitely be prepared for that
be
stuff.
smart.
Be smart,
Yeah, if you guys weren't wearing warm clothes, that could have been...
I would have been walking. I'd have been knocking on some doors.
Yeah.
Like, help me. We're stranded.
If you have any specific topic you'd like us to talk about, make sure you guys let us know.
So remember, low and slow.
Low and slow right now. All other social media is linked below. And we'll catch you guys next time.
Yeah.
Do I have boogers in my nose? Like in there?
Sorry.
You blew on them.
Do I have boogers?